Welcome to the Delphi Education Center, home of Acalanes Adult Education, located 25 miles east of San Francisco. My name is Stephen France, and I am the director, and allow me to introduce you to our registrar, Michelle Hernandez. Thank you for allowing us to share with you our journey towards program enhancement and an improved experience for our staff and over 1,900 duplicated enrollment guests, of which 241 guests are enrolled in our English Language Learner program and 16 in our Adult Secondary Ed program. Our goal is to deinstitutionalize our setting and provide a more welcoming, engaging, and personal experience. Rather than referring to our clients as students, we're evolving to referring to them as our guests at our program. Before we begin our deeper dive into how Acalanes Adult Education has reimagined our program for our guests and staff, allow me to begin with an overview of our guiding principles, which have led us towards our growth and more engaging experience for our guests and staff. First, building a sense of community and belonging, defined by trust and respect. To accomplish this, it starts with the administrator's vision for the agency and our program, and disseminating that out to staff and guests. Additionally, structure orientation to outline the sense and purpose of the agency or program. Finally, get to know guests and their why for attending this program. Second, staff play pivotal roles in the building and improvement upon an agency's growth and success. This is accomplished through engaging staff in conversations about and the development of the vision for the agency program. Staff participating in the orientation sessions to gain a deeper understanding of the process guests will experience. Training must be part of the fabric. Additionally, no idea is a bad idea. Try out suggestions, as they may be opportunities for enhancements and program growth. If an idea is not successful, rather than dwell upon how it failed, focus on what was learned and gained. Third, use of data to drive program improvements and changes to support the needs of guests attending the agency programs. Former Yugoslav and Serbian professional football player Bojan Krikic said, "It is important to find a place where you feel trust, you feel belonging, and stability." Words spoken so truly about an adult education program and our guests who come through our doors seeking to further their language acquisition skills, advance their career and/or college aspirations, and so much more. At Acalanes Adult Education, we enhanced our orientation experience for our guests, building that trust, sense of belonging, and stability at a time needed now more than ever. Next, so we may refer to our guests by name at orientation, each guest was provided with a name tag, which included all of the information needed to begin their journey throughout the orientation and testing sessions. Our next evolution was transforming the orientation from a classroom setting to our theater. This allowed our guests to experience comfort in a more warm environment as they engaged in our introductory presentation. As our guests entered the theater and found a seat, we engaged them in an interactive activity, asking them to tell us why they were here. Using the web-based program Slido, guests could text their reason why they were here, which then developed a word cloud for them to see and develop live in front of their eyes as they awaited the beginning of the presentation. This opener activity allowed staff to hear directly from guests rather than base it upon assumptions. Finally, our orientation presentation provided guests with insight as to the why for pre-testing, benefits of taking our classes, an introduction to the staff here to serve our guests, and so much more. In order to enhance our programs at Acalanes Adult Education, I examined what it was we were doing, where I wanted us headed, and what was needed for us to reach that goal. In the words of Walt Disney, the way to get started is to quit talking and begin doing. Doing is exactly what occurred. Knowing the future of the program was leading us towards further implementation of technology tools, both in the classroom for our teachers and accessibility materials for our guests. I worked with our district leadership and budgeted to pay 50% of the salary for our technology assistant. This investment, though larger in scale from a fiscal standpoint, outweighed not committing to this need. In order for our program to move in the direction of less paper and more online tools required a technology specialist to support our growth and be available for our staff and guests who call upon for support with these advancements. I will share more on the importance of this role as I explain additional technology enhancements a little bit later. Sharing the vision of the program with staff was another doing step necessary. Though some staff have been hesitant to move away from physical paper textbooks, materials, and supplies to online and technology-related items, through discussions on how these items would improve their experience with instructional delivery and make their jobs easier, we eventually got to a place where staff have become comfortable with these enhancements. Initially, the move towards online tools was to reduce our usage of paper. But with the pandemic, we had to rethink our delivery methods and provide our guests with the same instructional materials. Throughout the pandemic, I constantly reflected upon the words of author Roy T. Bennett. Instead of worrying about what you cannot control, shift your energy to what you can create. Creativity is exactly where the entire staff at Acalanes Adult Education landed. From the day we shut down, the next day, we transformed our instruction to online via Zoom and invested in Canvas as our learning management system. Through Canvas, our technology assistant and I developed Canvas courses for our staff, which included how-to lessons on the various online tools we provided to staff. From Canvas to Zoom to online textbooks and materials to using the webcams we provided our staff as many short and easy to follow lessons as possible. We even held online professional development training focused on one instructional tool at a time to help ease their minds and teach them how to use everything at their disposal. Our English language learner department worked with textbook companies on implementing online tools, such as textbooks and workbooks, which then would seamlessly integrate with Canvas, thus providing as fluid an instructional program for our guests as possible, with the intent of replicating what once was offered in person to the Zoom environment. For guests who were unable to access their courses due to Wi-Fi accessibility, we provided assistance through county supports. If guests did not have devices, we provided them with a device. For our current term, we're offering both in-person and online courses. Each classroom is now equipped with a multi-array microphone, along with 2 webcams strategically placed in the classroom, and also providing 2 iPads per classroom for teachers to use. One iPad is designated to serve as the instructional iPad to work with the program Doceri, while the second iPad serves as the Zoom iPad, thus providing 2 additional camera options. Throughout our closure, with the support of our technology assistant, Acalanes Adult Education equipped each classroom with a Wi-Fi array to provide a more robust access for our guests and staff. Wi-Fi is available for our guests and staff, and we display QR codes in each classroom for guests and staff to point their device camera towards, which instantly logs them onto our Wi-Fi throughout the campus. We are also exploring extending Wi-Fi into our parking lots. We are currently in the process of rolling out technology-specific professional development lessons each month for staff to attend to learn about, practice, and utilize these items further within their instructional program. Our goal is to offer all classes at Acalanes Adult Education in a hybrid model by winter 2022. I am a firm believer in giving our staff and guests every tool available, allowing them to explore the possibilities and enhance the overall experience. A requirement established is that all teachers are certified for proctoring e-tests. In addition to their certification, all teachers are required to attend at least one orientation and assist with e-testing so they are aware and engaged in the process. This also allows for guests to further interact with not just our office staff, but teachers as well. Upon our school closure due to COVID-19, we learned of the ability to conduct e-testing and remote testing. Our team jumped into action and attended CASAS training on both forms of testing and rolled out e-testing August 2020, bringing in small groups of not more than 10 guests in an outside venue to take their pre-test on Chromebooks. We could not have accomplished this task without the help from our funded technology assistant, who placed our Chromebooks in kiosk mode and registered all devices. During our in-person e-testing in August 2021, we now e-test up to 26 guests maximum at a time. For post-testing, given guests' inability to come to campus in November 2020 due to COVID, we then rolled out remote testing. We began with just 5 guests remote testing, and now, through our experience, we're able to remote test a maximum of 12 guests with 3 proctors. Given our limited time, we are more than willing to discuss and share experiences and strategies with agencies offline on how to roll out both e-testing and remote testing. In the words of German-American economist and professor at the Harvard Business School, Theodore Levitt, creativity is thinking up new things. Innovation is doing new things. At Acalanes Adult Education, staff are always exploring new ways of providing the best educational experience for our guests. As new ideas and offerings come to light, I work closely with not just our school staff, but our district level staff to state our program needs, funding sources, and data to support the need for these new ideas. It is important to schedule regular meetings with the business office to discuss the overall budget of Acalanes Adult Education and the various funding sources, including Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act, California Adult Education Program CAPE funding, and fee-based monies. I also meet regularly with the Associate Superintendent, who happens to be my supervisor, and discuss our program and growth potentials, in addition to presenting to our governing board and provide an overview of the program and all we have to offer, including our innovation of where we are headed. Through all of this, my motto is, there is nothing I will not try. As Theodore Roosevelt once said, believe you can, and you're halfway there. Finally, we're most proud of our newest role here at Acalanes Adult Education. We have hired a full-time transition specialist paid through funding of our CAPE and fee-based programs. This role is new to the program and has shown great success. Not only does our transition specialist assist with testing our guests, but also presents to guests at our orientation, outlining services available, and also meets with every guest, completing a needs assessment, which that data will be used to reinvent our program offerings and build a stronger experience for our guests. Thank you for allowing us to share our program with you, and feel free to contact us should you have any questions. There is so much to cover, and this is just a sampling of what we have to offer. The sky's the limit, and we have only just begun.